you were to listen to the media right now, you would be crazy to buy a house. But is the housing market really crashing, or does the media just want you to panic? Today we're going to be talking about if you should really be buying a house right now. I saw a couple of Forbes articles that I wanted to break down. Forbes wrote an article back in May 24th of 2022, and I'll put a link to the article down in the YouTube description. And I found the article about a week ago, shot the first part of this video, and then checked it again today. There's a new article that dropped yesterday, and it's a completely different story. So I'll put the link to both articles down in the description, but I wanted to kind of break this down a little bit, take just a minute and break down what's the national media saying about the housing market. And then what does that mean for you? So I've got a couple of points that I want to walk you through. You're going to want to stick around to the very end because you might be surprised at what I have to say. So let's just, oh gosh, let's do this, girl. The first article was written May 24th, and the headline cracks me up. Housing market boom is over as new home sales implode. Here's what to expect from prices this year. Now, most people, if you just stop at the headline, what words really stand out? Housing market boom is over. Implode. Now, most people zoom right past the word new, and their brain just captures housing market or home sales. The article is talking about new home sales, new construction. Okay, but moving on. The top line, new home sales unexpectedly plunge more than economists projected. And for the fourth consecutive month in April, according to the data released Tuesday, adding to signs that the once booming housing market could be due for a steep turnaround. Again, so Tony Robbins said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And when you add in emotionally charged words like implode and once booming housing market could be due for a steep turnaround. Let's keep going. Key facts. About 591,000 new single-family houses were sold last month on a seasonally adjusted annual basis, plunging 16.6% below the March rate of 709,000. So you're driving down the tollway and you're driving 100 miles an hour, which is speeding. We're not advocating breaking the law on this channel. So you're going 100 miles an hour down the tollway and you reduce your speed to 90 miles an hour. You're still going pretty fast, right? You will get a ticket if you are driving 90 on the I almost said North Dallas Speedway. If you're driving 90 on the tollway, you're going to get a ticket if you get caught. You're still driving 90 miles an hour, but your speed has plummeted 10%. You're still driving 90 miles an hour. Make sense? I think you hear me now. Okay, so when you're looking at, hey, if somebody comes up behind me, I need you to whistle or wave or do something. Tap the like button if somebody comes up behind me. Ooh, that's actually a really great idea. Let's just keep going. In short, the party is over. Now, remember back to 5th grade? Was it English? There was fact and opinion. In red letters at the top, it says key facts. And there's 2 bullets. First one is data, which I love the saying, if you assault data enough, it will confess to anything. But let's not park on that. The second bullet point in red says, in short, the party is over. According to the chief economist, Ian Shepherdson, the party's over. You missed the boat. You missed out. Opportunity has been lost. I'm sorry, Ian Shepherdson, whoever you are, if that is your real name. I'm sure Ian's a very nice person. The party's over? Really? Come on, bro. Go back and watch the first video that I launched on this channel. And and kind of gloss over my editing effects. We've gotten a little bit better since then. But go back and watch that video and see when in fact, I'll just put a link at the end of this video so that you can watch the first one. That way you can finish this one and then move on. It's actually better for the YouTube algorithm anyway. The homes that we bought, Katie and I, my wife, the times that we bought them, the amounts that we bought them for, and then what they are worth in today's value. Pretty eye-opening. What real estate does is it increases. All right, take your granddad's house. How much did he pay for that house in 1930? I'll wait. You know, if he bought a house in the 30s for $10,000, is anyone shocked that 90 years later you can't still buy a house? Ian Shepherdson, is the party really over? What do housing prices do? They go up. Home prices appreciate. That's what they do. And with the exception of really the 2008 housing crisis, which was not a housing crisis, that was a lending crisis, was the underlying catalyst. In fact, in that video that I just referenced, we bought a house in, was it February of 07, just before the market did its thing. Given the choice to buy that house today, I would much rather, well, let me just ask you, and put your answer down in the comments below. If you could buy that same house in Lantana, Texas for, what was it, $225,000 in 2007 prices, or what it sold for, I believe, in January of 2022, which price would you rather pay? Would you rather pay the 07 sale price or the 2022 price? And in 07, that was at the tippy top of the market. And then the market crashed. Well, just put down in the comments, what price would you rather pay? The 07 price or the 2022 price? If you're having trouble, pick the little number. I won't spoil the ending, but go watch that video when this one is over and you'll see what I'm talking about. The first house we bought, the house we, in 99, same exact story. The housing market was different in 99 than it was in 07 and is different than it is today. But you know what they all have in common? They all did this, or is it this? I don't know if the orientation is flipped, but it did this. The housing market went up, and when it cools down, and I don't know why I said it like that, when the market implodes, it doesn't go from here to here. It goes from here to here, but it's still climbing. It's still climbing. We're not talking about day trading here. We're talking about houses. If you're gonna buy a house today and sell it next week for a profit, you better buy it right. If you buy it at a great price, you're gonna make money. But if you buy it and then expect to turn around and sell it a week later, I'm not a day trader, but if we were trading stocks, you're constantly watching up and down to try to see, when do we exit this trade? It's not how real estate works. That's not how single family real estate works, whether you're buying it to live in it or to hold it as an investment property, really, unless you're looking to flip it. But that has less to do with the housing market and has more to do with how you bought the house. We'll save the rest of that for another time. Let's get back to the article. Ian Shepherdson. Oh, there's a third bullet point. Oh, there's more. Sorry, I just had to scroll down. The monthly payment required to buy a home has risen by about 50% since September. Now, remember, when was this article written? But what people see is 50%. So if I'm gonna buy a house and my monthly payment, if I'm anticipating paying $3,000 a month, a 50% increase will take my payment to $4,500. I can't afford that. I'm not gonna buy a house. Come on, man. There's so much more that goes into this. Despite the collapse in sales, median prices rose to an all-new high of more than $450,000, reflecting the price pressure that's dampening housing demand. Again, dampening, these emotionally charged words that really screw people up.
Emotional, damn it!
So the word median is also an interesting word. When they write these articles, notice this, they're not talking about any hyperlocal market. They're talking about the national housing market and the median price. So you don't want to take the average price because that can skew the data. You use the median price, but you're still still crossing state lines. You're in different markets. Are we talking about the $500,000 market? Are we talking about the $1 million market? Are we talking about the $10 million market? Even inside of DFW, there's a market at 300,000. There's a market at 450. There's a market at 750. Well, most people don't know that. So it's so critical that if you are in the market to buy or sell a house, most intelligent people are not basing their decision off of an article written by a media outlet. Hopefully you're talking to a local expert that can speak intelligently about that local market and the price point that your property sits in. That's much more accurate data rather than just skimming past something. And I talk to people all the time, and people hear things and they repeat things, and they say things like, I'm waiting until the market cools down. I'm gonna wait until the market crashes. I'm gonna wait until all these people go into foreclosure, and then I'm gonna buy a house. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's just stuff that people say as they're standing around the water cooler. If you need to sell your house right now, you need to sell it. Market be damned. You need to sell it. And you probably don't need to sell it because of what house values have done. There's some other underlying issue that's causing you to think, I need to sell this house. It may be convenient or inconvenient timing based on what the market is doing, but the market environment is not why you're selling the house. Now, how the heck do I know that? Because I can read your mind. If you'll look into my eyes. Yep, I knew it. That's not why you're selling the house. There may be certain outliers where all things are equal and you're like, you know what, it's time, let's go ahead and sell it and let's benefit from the market. But the reason you're selling 99% of the time has little, if anything, to do with the market conditions and everything to do about some emotional reason why you need to sell this house. We need to downsize because it's too much of a strain for us to stay in the home. Or we need more room because we're out of room and it's creating stress in the home, right? We're tired of renting. We're tired of giving our money to the landlord and not building equity. Like, those are emotional reasons why people do things. Now, they'll justify it logically. The market's doing this, interest rates are doing this, let's wait another month when things cool down. But I'm telling you, as I gaze into my crystal ball, you will pay more for the house that you're looking at a year from now than you will right now. Because that's what happens. Prices increase. Nobody is surprised that the brand new pickup that they bought in 2000, you can't buy a brand new pickup for the exact same price. In 2004, I bought a Ford F-150 for $24,000, brand new, off the lot. You can't do that today. The same truck today, you're probably paying $45,000, $50,000 for the same truck, because that's what prices do. All right, I'm sorry. Back to the article. Here's an article by Forbes that was updated July 1st, yesterday. Housing market predictions 2022. When will prices drop? Low inventory, fervid competition, and massive price gains have battered buyers since 2020, but now rapidly rising mortgage rates are making it even harder to purchase an affordable home. For many buyers, higher mortgage rates mean they can no longer afford homes in specific price ranges. That's true. For every 1% interest rates go up, you lose about 10% in buying power. That's math. The problem is that even modest single-family homes cost as much as lavish pads did a few years ago. No shit. Prices go up. That's what they do. So buyers are stuck, I love the word stuck, either waiting for more inventory to come online or moving to a more affordable area. Are you stuck? We had a closing this last week. First-time home buyer, in her 20s, paid $308,000 for her first home. Cute little house, recently updated, $300,000, $308,000. Well, I bought my first house in 1999 for $89,000. She overpaid. No, she didn't. She's in the game. Good for her. Super proud of you, girl. You done good. Where was I? Let's address that. Are you stuck? You're not stuck. You have choices. Now, you may not like your choices, but dollars to donuts, I talk to more people every day that are pissed because they didn't buy a year ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago. Or they're pissed because they sold the house and they went back and looked on Zillow and see what the house is worth now. By the way, you want to hear a real estate joke? What does the A in Zillow stand for? It stands for accuracy. That's what they do. Home prices, they go up. Now, you may not like your choices, but you have a choice. Pick your choice. Continue to stay where you are and deal with the things that you're dealing with, or make a change. Those are your choices, right? You may not like your choices. You may wish you had more choices, and that's fine. But I don't think I've spoken with anyone that made a home purchase and now regrets it because what prices have done. In fact, even on the interest rate front, I saw a meme the other day that said, date the mortgage, marry the house, right? Just get in the game. What are interest rates going to do? They're going to go up and then they're going to come down, and they're going to go up and then they're going to come down. Right now, a 30-year fixed interest rate is at 5.5. Had a closing last week, they're at 6%. Now that buyer is probably thinking, dang it, I should have waited a week. No, you shouldn't, right? Interest rates are going to come back down. You got in the game, good. Now, could you save yourself a couple of $100 if you got a better interest rate? Of course. Rates are going to drop. You can always refinance later. Buy the house now. What's the old saying? When's the best time to buy real estate? 20 years ago. Why is that an old saying? Anyway, back to the article. If you're waiting for prices to suddenly plummet to what they were in the past, you're making a mistake. What? Did I just read this from Forbes? I'm sure I misspoke on my words. Let me read that again. If you're waiting for prices to suddenly plummet to what they were in the past, you're making a mistake, says Tabitha Mazzara, Director of Operations at Mortgage Bank of California. The Fed has promised another interest rate boost. If you're ready to buy, don't wait, because prices aren't headed dramatically downward to what our parents paid.
Well, no
Things might dip a bit, but there's no cliff dive that's going to happen. Now, do I agree with her because I'm in real estate? No, I agree with her because that's been my experience. That's in all of my time buying, selling houses, my time as a realtor, my time investing in real estate, this has been the trend. Prices are here and they go up to here. That's it. If you boil it down to its most simplistic form, real estate appreciates. Now, there are outliers. There are certain pockets of the country where that is not the case, but that we're not talking about those parts of the country. We're talking about Dallas, Texas. We're talking about the housing market in North Texas. That's just not the case. If you buy a house and you hold it for a couple of years and you sell the house, you will sell it higher than you bought it. Period. Amen. End of story. Roll footage. I don't know why I said roll footage. Housing market predictions for July 2022 as we continue on. The cost of buying a single-family home jumped more than 20% nationwide in April from the same month last year, according to the latest S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller Index. Again, we're talking about national numbers. If you are investing in a specific index, then there you go. That's helpful data. But sometimes people read things like this and then they kick themselves. Like, talk to a local economist, talk to a real estate expert in the area that you're wanting to be in, and find out what that data is. Let's see, Nadia Evangelou, senior economist and director of forecasting at the National Association of Realtors, says rates should average 5.7 by late 2022. This article was updated yesterday. Rates are at 5.5 right now for a 30-year fixed. But these higher costs are putting pressure on the housing market. The Mortgage Bankers Association recently reported that a steep decrease in mortgage applications to buy and refinance pushed the market index down to its lowest levels in 22 years. Decrease in mortgage applications. You know another reason there's a decrease in mortgage applications? Because people have a ton of equity in their properties. They're selling these properties and they're paying cash for the next property. They're not even getting a mortgage. There are so many factors that attribute to a decrease in mortgage applications beyond what Forbes is peddling. Now, this particular article says the opposite of the article written a month ago. Will home prices rise in the summer of 2022? Call it hot homes price summer as inflation, high housing demand, and low supply continue to send costs skyward. Economists at realtor.com recently revised their forecast for median sales price appreciation on existing homes from 6.6% in 2022, up from their previous prediction of just 2.9%. This is what economists do. They take data and they make predictions, and that's wonderful. I am all for economists, right? But it goes back to why are you even reading this article? Why are you watching this YouTube channel? Either it's because you just like hot dudes with gray beards, or you've got some real estate thought rolling around in your brain. You're thinking about buying, you're thinking about selling, you're thinking about investing, thinking about moving, you're thinking about getting out of the rent race and building appreciation. Those are the people that are watching this channel. So hear me on this. Why are you thinking about real estate? Not your buddy, not the guy at the water cooler, not the neighbor in the front yard who's making his predictions. Why are you thinking about real estate? And have that conversation with a local expert and decide based on your situation, what kind of interest rate would you get? What is your cash position? What are you looking for in a home? Why are you thinking about making a move? The emotional reasons, and peel that onion back and let a guide advise you. I don't tell all of my clients you should buy right now because a one-size-fits-all t-shirt never really fit me much. Everyone's situation is different. It's a big decision. Why are you doing it? My reasons for doing something are going to be different from yours, but you're the one buying the house. You're the one selling the house. Everyone's situation is different. That's no earth-shattering revolution or revelation. That's just how it works. All right, so what's the point? The media is selling stories. Who is your real estate guide? Is it the national media outlet, or is it a local economist? Is it your dad who hasn't sold a house in 7 years? Is it your mentor who invests in multifamily real estate? Like, who is your guide? And is that wise counsel? Just because your attorney is wealthy, does that make them wise counsel for a real estate transaction? Because your CPA is involved with handling finances, directing finances, does that make them qualified to guide you down that path in the market that you're looking at being in? Just something to consider. And then lastly, are you wanting to move or not? If you don't want to move, that's great. Don't move. Well, but maybe I should move. Maybe you shouldn't. The grass is not always greener on the other side. Sometimes it is, but it really takes some discovery. What's the old saying? Prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. So let's diagnose and let's figure out your scenario. So as you can tell, all media is propaganda in some shape or form. But if you're watching this and you think, you know what, I really need to get to the bottom of this and figure out if it's appropriate for me to buy right now, what's the next step? Give me a call. I've got a phone number in the description. Would love to visit. You can text that number, you can call. There's also a form on there where if you'll fill that out, we'll reach out to you and let's figure out if it's appropriate for you to buy or sell right now. And then you'll know. Also, I made this video right here that a lot of my friends like. Well, okay, my mom likes it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Watch the video.